hit it.
Oh.
You usually do countdown?
No, the funny thing about podcasts is that whenever you go to someone's house, you never know.
How it
Because nobody has like a start. Because sometimes you go to someone's house and they're like already recording. Like when you get out of the car. You're like, are we going? They're like, yeah, we already started.
Like they're videoing you and everything?
Well, yeah, sometimes you from the jump, you don't know what you're getting into.
Well, that's what just happened.
But sometimes they go, you ever had a friend? Like I know like you might do this with Sean. Do you ever do this where you have like you're like, oh, that's like, let's save that for the pod. Do you ever have a conversation that you save or no?
No, not with Sean. Sean doesn't put up with that, bro. She has no patience.
Nah, yeah, you're right. She goes, no, we're not doing that. I go, well, like for my podcast, when I walk in, I go, oh, did you see? And then we go, save it until we start.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it. Yeah. That's like, otherwise, I don't think guys, without podcasting golf, I don't think guys would talk to each other. They wouldn't.
I think you're right.
Have you ever been to like, I guess my best friend, I had lunch with him yesterday. But before that, when I had a meal or a coffee with him, I mean, I play basketball and golf with guy buddies all the time. But have you ever like sat down?
No conversation?
No, just with no other ancillary thing.
Like me with another dude?
Yeah.
Well, you and I went on a walk, our first introduction.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, we did go on a walk. Yeah. But all right, so that proves my point, I guess. Because you're like, dude, you want to have coffee? You're like, oh, no. But I guess a walk is not that much better.
No, it's worse. I would say it's
walk is
definitely
worse.
I didn't realize. All right, so John and I's first time meeting each other.
Yeah.
We interviewed Trey yesterday.
Yeah.
I think that was my first time seeing you too. I honked at you guys when you were on a scooter.
Oh, we were making a video.
And then
This is the first time I saw you. Yep.
You finally responded to me all these DMs because I was like, man, we could make some content together.
Yeah, we both live here.
Yeah, and you went through your stuff, and I was like, actually, this guy needs some bros. So then you
100%. Yeah.
You finally responded, and I was like, all right, well, let's meet at the park and do a walk. And I didn't realize. Wow. Sean makes fun of me all the time because like she says I am super awkward with first impressions, which I probably am.
I mean, so am I. But how do you meet a guy? How do you meet? Because like a guy trying to meet a girl, it's like obviously there's romantic situations. A girl trying to meet a guy, same thing. A girl trying to meet a girl, that's a guy trying to be friend. I mean, there's movies about this. What's it called? Best Man. What is it with?
Yeah.
What's that movie?
I don't know.
Where you go? He's trying to find a best man. What's that movie?
Hey, hold on.
And
it has a bigger. Yeah, I know.
It's huge. But he goes, how do you become friends with a guy?
See, that's why I don't overthink it. I'm like, yo,
you just do it.
Let's just do it. Let's take a shot.
Yeah.
And then we can laugh at it
later,
which we do now.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go to the workout, right?
Yeah, and then it didn't work out.
And it didn't. Well, because it was closed. So we're going to go to the stairs? What are we going to do?
Yeah, we were going to. Oh, yeah, they closed the stairs outside.
Yeah, they closed the stairs. Was that for COVID? Or is they just under construction?
They were redoing them. But this is, so I'm excited for this conversation.
Me too, bro.
Thank you. Because you're so interesting to me. One, we always have deep conversations. Like you were over at the house the other day.
Yeah, we going hard, dude.
We went.
We go too hard. Sometimes I think I go too hard.
I love it. That's where I live, dude. I can't. I love it. But you also approach it with, like, you have deep conversations and you're funny. And I don't know if you do that intentionally or not.
Yeah.
But I just kind of have deep conversations, which it's less fun when you're doing it with me than you know?
Well, I think mine started from my live show. I've been doing comedy for, 10 years. And then I went through a lot of things in my personal life. And all these people, like every time I was like, I just say not vulnerable because I think that's like an overused word. Like, oh, he's so vulnerable. Like, I'm not with that. But like speaking from the heart, I've done it like 5 times on my Instagram total in 10 years on the internet.
When you're not joking.
Just 100% sincere.
Wow.
And everybody goes, we love that. And I go, yeah, that's not really I'm trying to sell tickets to comedy shows. I don't want to become that guy. But anytime there's this other side of me, I guess, and then whenever it does come out, everybody goes, more of that. But if you first meet me, you're going to meet the funny guy. Because that's like you're going to meet him before you meet me.
Is that Because
The
you're
defense
insecure, though?
mechanism. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You can't say that and then laugh, dude. He's like, is that because you're insecure? Wow. Dude. Well, that's obviously because you're insecure. Wow. Dude. Is my therapist in here? Yeah. Is this an intervention? Yeah.
No.
Well, for the first, like I was at I was at the NASCAR race this last weekend in Dallas.
Yeah.
And there was 3 guys from in Top Gun, the 3 biggest stars of Top Gun were there doing like the waving the checker flag or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were sitting there and we're all in the suite together. And they go, he was doing the ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, or gentlemen, start your engines. And he was like asking around like how to do it. Like, what should I do? What should I say? And everybody's kind of joking around. And I didn't know him. And I go, it used to be gentlemen, start your engines.
Right.
And now it was then Danica Patrick. And then it was ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. And now it's drivers, start your engines.
Okay.
And I go, well, it can't be gentlemen, start your engines because, like, obviously you can't just assume someone's gender. And he was like,
Didn't like it.
no, dude. Obviously. But, like, that's my first thing. I'm not going to say, hey, how you doing? My name's John. Nice to meet you.
Why?
I'm going to pipe in with a joke. And 99 times out of 100, it's great. But the guy go, what?
Where'd you take it from there after that didn't work?
Bad. I left. I think. But if you like, I guess if you met, not to compare myself in any type of way, this is the first name that came to my mind. If you met LeBron James, you're going to go basketball, right?
No.
You
No.
wouldn't?
So check this out.
Okay,
I actually, when Sean and I started dating, I was like really conscious of this because.
Oh, don't talk about gymnastics.
So I had fortunately been around her enough, maybe like 15 minutes, where I saw her interact with other people, and everyone's like, "Oh, tell me about gymnastics or Dancing with the Stars."
Yep.
You freaking get it? Well, actually, yours is
100%.
different.
Yeah.
But when you're like known for something, that's all people want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, well, she probably has more to her than like just the gymnastics thing. So let's touch about that. And that's like a differentiator.
Good angle. Yeah. So you didn't, that never, like my family, they don't want to hear about my comedy. They go, we got it. Right?
Yeah.
The people that know me, they're like, they don't, but if you first meet me, I get self-conscious, I guess, because if you come up to me in the airport and go, oh, John Chris, you know who you're wanting to meet? The guy from the videos.
100%.
You want to meet him.
Yeah.
So I guess if you don't know either one of y'all and you see you at a restaurant, you're hoping this guy is this guy, right?
Which is interesting. I think fame, like, it stunts your maturity.
1,000. No, you stop wherever you got famous.
I think so.
That's a known fact.
Like
people said that on the internet.
I didn't know that.
Where Justin Bieber got famous at 13, and you're like, that
maturity stopped.
Yeah. Or somebody in their 20s, or somebody in their like Leanne Morgan. You know her? No. She's like a comedian. She's from Knoxville, a mom, unbelievable comic, and like got famous like in her late 40s.
Yeah.
And is just crushing, and is like knows how to handle it, like was a person prior, and this isn't, she has like a grandkids and a family, that's still the priority. And it's just like, yeah, that might, giving it to somebody at an early age is just, I mean, I people started recognizing me when I was 35, and that's still too early, I thought.
Really?
I wasn't ready for it.
I feel like your appreciation for everything decreases when you're famous, right?
Yeah,
I feel like your effort towards relationships, like, like I went to college, I had to like meet people and like, do the whole, hey, we have to do this awkward thing. Yeah. Anyway, I've known you for 3 years?
Since 2000, I guess 20. Yeah. 20, 21, 22. Yeah. Well, wouldn't you say anybody, well, I don't know, that may not be true. Anybody that's like I met, what's her name?
Miley Cyrus.
No, I've never met Miley Cyrus. Kathy Lee Gifford.
Oh yeah.
You know that name?
Yeah.
Okay, so I met her, She was doing a debut of a premiere of a movie. I never met her before. I spent 15 seconds with her, and I go, oh, I got it. And that makes sense why she's who she is, because she made you feel so warm and like loved and like seen in like 10 seconds.
Wow.
And I go, oh yeah, I got it. And you heard the stories about like Bill Clinton when he was like, he remembers a waiter's name from like 15 years ago or something. You're like, oh, I get it. I got it. Why that guy's so charismatic. Yeah, that makes sense.
Isn't it weird to think though, like, those are not necessarily like better qualities than other people have. They're just qualities that get higher rewards by society. Like that charisma is not necessarily like, it's not better than someone being really good at math.
No.
But it is like you get paid more for it.
The way our society, I guess, is set up is that's rewarded. I guess. I mean, yeah, it's like some of those pastors, those mega church pastors, if you were like one-on-one, they're the same. Whatever that quality is, if I have like 3% of it, though, like to have it just like gushing out of you, people like that.
I think it's a red flag, kind of.
Yes, dude, 100%, dude.
It's like you can't live up here the whole time,
dude. And just like and you're like, I've said this about like attractive, very very attractive women. They go, everyone's just been like so nice. I'm like, yeah, to you. They're like, I never had a problem like getting a job or like, yeah, because your whole worldview is 10 through like you walk in and go, oh, like, hey, what do you need? Like your whole worldview is through that, and like it's like I think it's like it's a red flag, and it's like a gigantic like human responsibility that you can get people to like follow you voluntarily, or you say, hey, buy this, and everyone that's on the internet is some level of that. But that just I've met a couple pastors like that. That's in Christianity. That's the closest I've come. And like, I think Kathy Lee or somebody that's like, versus someone that has like some of those like comics, a lot of them are like this athletes and musicians. Like they're a zero
charisma.
A lot of them too.
Yeah, 100%.
They go, yeah, I'm just great at putting the ball in the thing.
Right.
You're like, you want to go on a date with that guy? You're like, no. Or I don't know. I always say it, but yeah. But you look at them when they're doing the thing they do, and they're light years ahead of you. You're like, that's unbelievable. And they don't know how to. You're like, I want to meet them. I go, you don't. Trust me, you don't. There's a lot of people like that.
What do you think you're best in the world at? What do you attribute this to? Your success?
I mean, so my dad's a preacher. I grew up in the South. I was homeschooled. I worked at Chick-fil-A. This commentary on the Christian Southern like subculture. I go. Sometimes I go, if I don't make this video, and I'm not saying this to brag, no one else is making this.
Yeah.
There's no, and now I could do like jokes about Nashville. Other people can do that. Jokes about relationships. Other people can do that. But sometimes I think no one else is gonna make this. I'm gonna be the best to make this. Not in a cocky way, but I can't get there all the time, obviously. But every once in a while, I got it.
You got it, bro.
Well, we're writing this video. We just shot it last week called "If Bible Characters Had Therapists," and they sit down and like I don't know if anyone else not to be. I got that one. I should make that one. And then and then sometimes I get away from it because I get like annoyed with my own brain. You
got like that genius.
No, I wish.
Illness, like you're too smart for your own
Thank
good.
You, dude. Yeah, no. I got to do a lot of. Well, we're the same, I think, in ways. We had a lot of like, always a ton of ideas. Tons. Like I heard a new video guide this week because I got 120 videos that I want to make that are written down. that are just
good ones.
not all. Not all. Sometimes you're like, I'm gonna make this one, then you go, this is not good. Yeah. Do you ever do that when you put out something that you're nervous that this is like you're nervous that it's gonna be good?
So we've never gotten close to burnout, and I think part of the reason why is because, bro, we'll just put, we want to film a video like training like an astronaut. We do a YouTube video on.
Yeah.
I don't care how it performs. I just want to freaking do the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
So like when you get pigeonholed into the one thing of I have to put out something funny, that's when I feel like it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Well, I've said this like with the TikTok, like if you scroll on TikTok, you're not going to scroll past 3 videos when somebody's going to go to get to this audio is trending, this amount of time, these things, but no one has talked about like, well, what do you want to say? Like, what do you have anything? Do you have a message? Like, what if they gave you got on the algorithm or you went viral and you got 5 million followers? Then what?
Like, what's the purpose?
What's the purpose? Like, if you don't have any, so I would like my videos to do well. You would like your content to do well. Yeah. But if you're like, you are adding value to like, Bill Burr.
Hilarious. Dude.
Okay, Bill Burr.
Hilarious.
I've tried to explain this in the best way I can. Like, Bill Burr is like bomb proof. You know what bombing is as a comic. You don't do well.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I don't really care. You need to hear this. No, he goes, I mean, I don't care if you, I hope you like it. We all hope our stuff does well and people welcome it. But you go, this is a fact. You need to hear. And you can't, same with your content, or say if you're doing it from like, I'm going to make this, I enjoy the whole process so once I press publish, I of course I obviously hope it does well, but I'm out of it. I enjoyed the whole, but if you hate the whole process and then publish it to get famous or clout or whatever, you're going to be out of the game in a week because you hate. I like when during quarantine, no one was like, we were doing shows for like 5 people at like a bar, like because we just were obsessed with doing it.
Yeah.
Because we just liked thinking up of ideas, talking to your buddies. We should try this, making it the whole. When I got out of rehab, we were still not on the internet because it was still like I still need some more time to kind of to solidify my sobriety. And I was like, well, can I at least make stuff? And they go, have at it. And I go, I'm great.
Good.
I don't even know if this ever comes out, but I just want to make stuff. I just want to create. This hardest part about was like when I was in rehab, I didn't have my phone for like 8 months. I saw all these things in the world, and I was like, I wish I could contribute. And there are so many people that were like, I wonder what John Christ would have to say about this, you see something wild, and that's the voices are on the internet that are popular are for a reason, because you've helped people in relationships, you've helped them, or people with kids, you've helped them with their lives. And a lot of times you see comics that are like, or people posting just it's a therapy for them.
Right.
It's just therapy for them. And like this is like help. Whenever I make something, who would share this? Would anyone share this?
Right. What do you contribute? What do you view your contribution as? This is your purpose.
Well, I think I don't want to. My girlfriend always makes fun of me because I say like I always say like whatever Enneagram type like has a quote. Like I'm that like somebody said, don't forget that whenever you were at your lowest point in life, you went to art. Whenever you were the most sad, you went to art, whether that was music or literature or comedy or a good book or a poem. You went to art to help you, to help you cope. And then like, dude, when I was at my darkest point, I remember I was kind of not like, I felt a certain type of way about Christianity that I grew up in church, and I felt like a lot of the Christian evangelical culture kind of turned on me. So I used to listen to worship music, and I still do now. Worship music when I was kind of out on that. I listened to Eric Church, and I felt so. Do you listen to Eric Church? Mm-hmm. I felt so like, I don't even know what, you know the word I'm talking about, like at peace or at home, or it was very safe. And that's what I feel like people would go. The one girl said one time, she goes, my parents are like in an abusive relationship, and every time they fight with each other, I go upstairs, put on my noise canceling headphones, and listen to your comedy. It's like, all my comedy's not like that. I don't want to make myself sound like I'm a better guy than I am or something like that. But that's like, they're like, if you had the ability to help, you should. Not for money, but like, think about the guy that, like,
I like that, bro.
If you have the ability, you should. And it's a privilege too. Not out here to get a million followers or whatever. That all comes secondarily. But like, everybody was so depressed over quarantine because nobody was helping, because everybody's at home. And even if you work, let's say, a very simple job, and no disrespect to anyone that does it, we've all done it, work at McDonald's. You got up, you set your alarm for 7:30, went to McDonald's, and you're the guy that knows the fries. Here's how you do it. Here's how you turn on the oil. Here's how you drop them. Here's how you put them in the thing. This is where the carton is. And somebody comes in working, and they've had a long day of work, and they say, let me get a hamburger and fries and a Coke, and you go back there, make it, give it to them. You have contributed.
You've added good to the world.
To the world, because that guy was hungry, and he's adding good to the world by roofing someone's house or whatever, or landscaping or whatever he's doing. And when people over quarantine lost that, and they were just kind of,
what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And you're like, and that's a very simple, but like, you were like, well, I'm still getting, because remember that everyone was still getting paid,
right?
Because they were, but they weren't.
That effed me up, because cryptocurrency was also popping then, I think.
Oh, here we go.
And
with
I was
this
like,
conversation.
It effed me up, because I was like, oh.
We talked about this, yeah.
I was like, oh, so people are just like making millions out of nowhere. And I was like, but what's actually, like, you didn't add any good to the world.
You didn't.
You like, so it didn't really.
Yeah, you go, what?
It's not about the money, though. It's about how you got to, like.
Yeah.
Like, so you earn money because you add good through the laughs.
But everybody's on the same scale. And you take away, I still got money, you'd be like, all right, well, let's cap that at wherever you cap it. We've had this conversation too. All right, how much do you need?
Yeah.
A couple $100,000, a couple million. Where do you go? All right, now, like, we gotta help.
Right. Yeah, you have to.
You have to help.
So my buddy, I had in the past 6 months, there's been a couple things happen. Like, friends struggle with addiction. One friend tried to kill himself. Yep. Now he's a quadriplegic. I don't know if I told you that. But it was like, bro, we had the same, like, if you look at our stories, it's the same thing. He just didn't have, like, the purpose.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, hold on. Dude, you could make $100 million, but it's so cliche, but
it would make you more sad. I had a buddy that was, I was talking to a friend this week, that he goes, he just bought this dream home, and then he was suicidal the next day.
Right. Because
you think, like, everybody, no matter where you are, no matter what level of income, you're if you're not a person of faith, I'm a person of faith, the Christian faith. Let's say you're not in that, you're hoping or trusting or wishing for a better tomorrow. So you go to work, maybe I'm going to get a raise.
Right.
Maybe if you're single, maybe I'm going to find a girlfriend, find a boyfriend. Maybe if I keep doing this for a while, I'm going to get promoted, a better job, I can get the house. Yeah. Or if we're hoping for, that's why when your president doesn't get elected, you're like, because he's going to write things for you,
Yeah.
right? Or he's going to maybe give you less taxes, more of a paycheck, a better tomorrow.
Right.
And so you play the lottery and it's like, $500 billion or whatever, not billion, $1 million for the Super Bowl or super whatever it is. What is it called?
Mega Millions.
Mega Millions. Somebody described it to me this way. You go, well, if you buy a lottery ticket on Monday, the drawing's not till Sunday. You bought for $10. You bought 6 days of hope.
That's so true, dude.
Bro, that's gonna make me cry, dude. It's really like that because that, and I go, yeah, it's worth it. You go like percentage wise, it's never gonna happen,
right?
But it's worth it. That you should do that. If your hope, like that makes sense to me. I don't play the lottery, but you go, and so what do you do? I ran into the same thing where you got, maybe if I got attention from these women, maybe if I got this money, maybe if I got this fame, maybe if I got whatever, then I'm set. And the scariest place is you got all those and you go, oh, this isn't it.
But I feel like the underlying, if I've learned anything, is like when your perspective is like, hey, let me buy my dream house or get money for my bank account or get my promotion. Like anytime your perspective's on you,
yeah,
it's not like you're not contributing to the good.
Yep.
You're gonna be way too anxious, and then two, it's like there's never enough. Like I remember when you and I met, we had a discussion, and you were like, bro, you had just come out of rehab, and you were like, you kept thinking that I was viewing you as like the rehab guy. And I was like, you're not the freaking rehab guy. You're just John, dude. Like, you're thinking too much about yourself.
In like a kind of narcissistic way.
A little, but it's like it comes from guilt in that situation. But whatever the cause is, it's like, dude, I'm not always thinking about freaking your problems.
Because you're thinking you got your own.
Yeah, but also
problems,
but
you got you're like, yeah.
And I think it's important though to like. Yep. I'm pumped that you have gotten to a place where, bro, like you're freaking crushing.
Let's go.
Let's freaking go. Let's go, dude. Yeah, but also, it's like now look what you're saying now.
I know. Well,
about purpose and freaking helping people out, contributing to the good.
We have this like dumb. I mean, it's not dumb, but we have a racing team that we sponsor.
Oh, it's dope.
Like it is pretty dope.
Face on the hood. Let's go.
Yeah. So we have like a whole. It's not NASCAR. It's like 2 levels below, maybe 3 levels below. Late model, and we got a guy. We got a kid that we sponsor, and he loves to race. He loves to race, and he's from 5 years old, 6 years old. He was, he's racing go-karts, and we pay him not a lot. I mean, it's significant, I guess, but like in terms of like, it's like a passion project.
Yeah.
And we like pay him so he can get gas and tires for his car, and he goes around the Southeast and races. And his mom came up to me after one of the races with crying, and she goes, if it wasn't for you, my son couldn't race. And I'm passionate about comedy, not racing, but like I know what that is. I know that feeling. And you're like, well, if I'm most like proud of my opener, the guy that I found him on the road, like working for $50 a night. And I go, come with me, dude. You're a great comic. And he texted me and he goes, dude, I just I just took my girlfriend like on vacation with money that you helped me get. Which was like, yeah, we should just do that. I don't know how to say that, but just like we got the money, just do that. And it's hard obviously to do, but like that if you think about what I'd be most proud of is not the video views or like Jay Leno when he signed off his last monologue. He said he went to someone on his staff. He went to their kid's graduation party or something like that, and he was in the backyard and he goes, hey Jay, look around. He's like, all this is because of what you did for me. He said that's what he was most proud of, not the Tonight Show or the ratings or whatever. And I go, oh, I think that might. And that guy's not I don't know, a man of faith or particular. He goes, that's what we're doing here.
It's good, dude.
I mean,
are you still a Christian?
Yeah. Wow.
No,
dude.
no. I'm saying you went through the freaking grinder, dog.
Yeah. Nobody's really asking that directly, dude.
I was just curious, bro, because like I feel like you could get jaded.
Okay.
How has your faith changed?
Well, I consider myself. I'm far more of a Christ follower now than I was before.
Whoa, that's
times 10. But, like publicly on like, on the internet for a couple months, I was getting crushed by like Christians.
Right.
But privately, these people kept me on earth. The Christian people kept me on earth. There's loud people that are angry at all times, but
kept you on earth.
Like not like I was like suicidal. And when I was in like rehab, there was people were sending me stacks of mail, like every day. I was for someone to get a letter in rehab, it's like getting a letter in prison. It's like it's very uncommon. They were bringing me like stacks of mail every day from these people that were like, we love you, dude. Like we're wishing for the best. We're proud of you. You're not a sum of your mistake. You're a good man. You're like, and just like, I always say, it's like I was like lifeless, and they were just like just they were breathing for me. It's just like, and they were just like, like, is that a good analogy for that?
I don't know if it's a good
this is the chest compression. They were like giving me mouth to mouth. They're just like, we got you until I could like, So like,
that's a good analogy.
They like I say if you were in trouble, and go into a church, they will help you. I mean, they're not going to give you a stack of cash, but like there are people in there that, again, there's churches that are too big or too money driven, or a pastor with a private jet, and there's bad, but I passed 50 churches on the way here, and I live 3 miles from you. These people will help you. They will. They're not just gonna like, it's not a charity, but they were like these people that will, if you're looking for a place to belong, or like this body of faith people are that, and they always have been that. Now, all the other stuff, the commercialization of Christianity, I'm probably more anti that than I was before. That a lot of the way that the modern Christian faith is kind of designed, it's coming apart, like in terms of these mega churches with all these scandals and all this money stuff, and like that was never really how the church was designed in the Old Testament. So if that kind of crumbles, I don't find myself particularly in defense of that.
Yeah,
that's probably good in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
because it's been too hurtful to too many people for too long. But you're not going to find me as a guy like, I don't revel in anyone's destruction just because I've gone through it myself, and it's horrific. You're not going to see me adding to the conversation of get them. Never. I wouldn't wish being canceled on my worst enemy.
Well, so what's your general approach now when like freaking whoever
it's every
does
other day
wrong?
Every day.
Right.
I mean, we're friends with Sam Hunt.
Yeah.
Who's a buddy of ours, we play basketball with him, and he's been in the news and you go, when anyone likes to do a thing, whether that's music or comedy or athletics or run a business, and their personal, call it addictions or whatever you call them, get in the way of them practicing what they're gifted at, it makes me sad every time. and I'm sad for them. I'm not. And I got that's a bummer. Because that all the other stuff that is surrounding it, and you go, it's a bummer, man. I find myself in defense of them. No one's in defending my behavior or my decisions, and actions have consequences, sure. But you go, oh man, that guy loves to write music, and maybe some decisions he's made in his personal life is gonna hinder his ability to do that, and he's generationally talented at it. Bummer. A guy that gets an NBA contract and loves playing basketball, and then gets mixed up with women or drugs, so you go, dang. That makes me sad.
I think about the Chariots of Fire quote where it's like, when it's about the Olympic runner.
I think this is quote number 2 in this podcast.
Me?
Yeah. No, I had one. You had one. Yeah.
He says,
I know what you're about to say.
When I run, I feel God's pleasure. And it's like, there is something, not to, like Sam Hunt has a God-given
Where else? What else? Yeah.
And so it is a bummer that like that doesn't make Sam Hunt God, which people get confused with. I feel like sometimes, and so because it's still Sam Hunt with this incredible gift, and Sam Hunt does a mistake, then is that what you're saying is a bummer that like he cannot continue with that? Like,
and some people get that he has this. If you had that ability to write music or something as simple as surfing, and people like to watch you surf and learn from you how to be a better surfer. Yeah. It's simple, a very basic contribution to Earth. And you can't do it. Bummer. That's it. If you know how to mix concrete in a way to make stairs that come in here, and you can employ other people and provide someone's house and improve it and add value, and you can't do it because you're an alcoholic and you got a DUI, now you can't drive. I'm sad for that.
Yeah.
I'm sad for that. Across the board. And it doesn't make like what I thought. I was living in like a I got canceled in like the November of 2019, but starting in 2009, people were speaking about me, and it was horrific. Everything, every part of it, every part of fame was another level of scare.
Yeah, that sounds stressful.
It was horrific. It was like living in prison. And you go, every time they're like, dude, the show's sold out. I go, oh God, dude, you're on TV. Oh, I hope they. And it's because what are you actually scared of? I thought I was bad. I am a bad person. No, I made poor choices. You're not bad. And then you can learn that you're a good person. Actions have consequences, of course. You're good. Like all they would say go ahead.
But I don't think everyone
no one thought that. No one thought that, but I thought they thought that.
Yeah.
And that's what you go, oh, this is like, I was in Stephen Furtick is like a pastor, speaking of, I went to his church, and he goes, if the enemy or the devil or whatever you want to call him, if you're not a person of faith, if he had the power to do what he's constantly whispering to you, he would have already done it.
Dang.
If he had the power to say you're never gonna be successful, your business is you're gonna end up committing suicide. Now you can give yourself over to, I believe, darkness, and if you don't fight for your own health and mental health and spiritual life, you can go in that direction. But if he had the power to do that, he would have already done it.
Anyway.
I know, dude. I go, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. And you realize, oh, you're not a bad that like all day, every day in rehab, they would say you're a good man. You're a good man, deserving of a family, of a future. And you go, what? That can't be true.
I don't think everyone thinks that everyone is innately good, though. You know what I'm saying? I think
yep.
I think to your credit, you think that.
I do
fortunate.
now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like you're a good person with
Yep.
bad choices.
And actions have consequences 100%.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my friend Ashley the other day, and she goes, everybody is trying to cope with whatever fear, anxiety, or situation they're facing. If someone is going and getting drunk every night, that's the best tool that they have. Like my mom, I go, what do you do when you're stressed? She goes, I just take like a bath and read a book. I go, I wish I could do that. That's not one that's in my repertoire. I wish it was. I need more. I don't know. I need more than that. Yeah. But if you go, well, that person is like going to any kind of addiction or any kind of. Some people go to the internet and go to Instagram or go to. That's the best tool that they know. Yeah. If you're like a cocaine addict, you're like, well, that's the best way you know how to like you never. I didn't know how to either. I thought when I after I got done with my shows prior to 2019, I could not survive a night in a hotel room sober and alone. I could not. It was like it was like a prison cell closing that door. Because you get standing ovation, everybody wants to hug you, take a photo with you, and then you go. I did not have
how do you prevent from getting back there? Because this is
yeah.
When you were at the bottom of the barrel when we met, and now you're freaking.
No, I wasn't. Well, I was kind of coming out of it.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish. Yeah, I could say I had trouble being honest with myself. I still do, but yeah.
But like, now you're back at it. So how do we not repeat?
Well, I don't think I'm a bad person. I don't believe it's like a way of like what I've been critical of like the Christianity in a way that like it's always like boundary based. Like if a guy struggles with like lust or porn, they were like, all right, let's like get a filter on your computer. Let's get tracking on your phone. Let's get you're calling this guy every morning to like tell him if you've done anything against the rules or whatever. I've even heard of like if you look at a woman, you have a rubber band and then you like snap it again. You heard of that?
Crazy. That's crazy.
And you go, yeah, all those things that are like, all those are maybe necessary at some, but if you ever got free of those, you lose control. You would go because you want to break all the rules and do all these bad things if you had but versus
your identity shift.
There you go. I don't want to do that. I have the access to all that stuff. I mean, there's no way to. Everybody has a phone on them at all times. There's no way. Do you go? Well, why? We were down in Mexico on vacation, and they have the pharmacies that are like everything's in there. Right. Xanax, like all the painkillers, and they go. When I was growing up in Christianity, they go, "Don't do this because it's illegal. It's against the law." But now you're down there, and the laws are now gone. So now, why don't you? Why don't you? There's all these testosterone pills and Xanax. Like, now, why don't you? Well, because you value your body. And that conversation is growing up as a Christian was never like, don't look at porn because like no one does that make sense? No one verbalized why. They just said don't smoke cigarettes because you're under 18, you go to jail. Don't drink because you're under 20. No one walked you through like if I was a young kid and they were like, hey, there's going to be girls, you're going to be attracted to them. That's good. That's how everyone on this planet is here. Right. Because men are attracted to women and vice versa. But here's women, and this is why you don't want to, like, Christian or not, this is another human being, and you go, oh.
So now no matter what the new technology is, whether it's porn or whatever.
Yeah.
Now
Whatever.
you still have like you heard the analogy to like finding counterfeit bills.
Okay.
Like counterfeiters don't look at all the different fake options there are out there because there's always going to be new ones and new technology to make them better. They just study like the actual real bill.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a fake one, no matter what it looks like, they know it's not. And it's kind of the same thing where you only have like, it's almost like focus is a word.
Yeah.
But like, that's what for me, sports was like, hey, it doesn't matter if it's drugs or party, like whatever the thing is, like the distraction. It's like, no, that's not it for me.
Yeah.
So like you have to have that beacon of, hey, this is keeping me going no matter if it is, there's going to be a million different distractions. There's going to be,
And I was to like, to be clear, like we're not saying, I always get mad at people who are like, we got it figured out. I don't. We're trying.
Yeah.
I was going to make sure I'm maybe down the road farther than I was before, but not like I'm coming up on like I'm coming up in November, it'll be 3 years sober, which I'm proud of. Very proud.
Well done.
But I found a better way. Like if you're telling somebody, I started spending more time in creatively. I got way more creative. Like my stand-up got way better. I used to just work the minimum amount so then I could get drunk. Really. And then I would do it during the week. I'd do it at all times. And I was not a good friend. I was not a good family. All I wanted to do was that. Now I had to have it literally forcefully taken from me I didn't have physical access to it. And then I got strong enough myself that I could, but I go, I don't know, this way's better for me. But if you're sitting there at home, surrounded with all the same friends and all, like people go, we've had this conversation before, like I'm going to go off caffeine or I'm going to go off sugar or I'm going to go on it's disrespectful to your brain. It's so strong. You've gone off things all the time. And it's like, I'm going to go off sugar for a week. Your brain's like, all right, we'll see. We'll see. And now you go like, then you go like your relationship with those things in your brain is, I took like in rehab, they don't let you have anything that's any kind of escape. So like obviously drugs, alcohol, women, nicotine, caffeine, sugar, music, fiction books, anything where your brain, even if you work out, like, and you get a runner's high, they don't let you work. You can walk for 30 minutes a day. No, because you get adrenaline from that. They don't want you to escape in any way. They just want you to be present. And you realize that it's not whatever you're escaping from is not that bad.
We did that 7-day tour, remember? And like, bro, it is such a we're in front of a fraction of the size audience you have. Yeah. But like, I was talking to a musician.
I went to it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I came to Nashville. Yeah, he said something to me, but I wasn't going to say anything. They're like, I don't think John Chris is here. I'm not saying a word.
I forgot. But it's like you have that high. And like, there is something about like the equilibrium of if you have that high, like you are on stage, it's going to be balanced out. Like you need that time in the hotel room afterwards. Otherwise, bro, it's going to crash and burn.
And that's what that's what happens to everybody.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, they don't like, that's like, have you ever met like, I'm not going to put anybody out, but but like, they're just like, they're not in there. Like a mega famous people. Yeah. They're like, they're not in there.
Yeah.
They're not in there. I don't know who this guy I'm meeting is, but you just like, that's what they said about me. You just like, just dopamine, just every day. That what you said, like it's hard for whatever, like it's like to care or to be an average. You just go, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, anything, like nothing mundane matters, which is it's scary.
You wrote a book. Delete that,
book, dude. Yeah,
delete that.
delete that.
Why'd you want to write a book, and what's it about?
It's basically this whole conversation. Well, we talk about the same thing all the time. Is it started with the idea that I was in a line at a McDonald's in the drive-thru, and I posted some Instagram story about making a joke about something, and everybody's like, "Oh, McDonald's, gross. That's what you get. McDonald's, like they're so. I can't believe you knew what to eat there." And then if you get on, I go, "Well, McDonald's made $36 billion. Somebody's here." And every time if you drive on a road trip, every exit is this place.
Someone's buying the food.
Someone's buying it. But then you get on Instagram, it's like meal prepping. Like, I love like quinoa salad. But you go, what?
Yeah.
Or like everybody roast like Nickelback.
I freaking love Nickelback.
They're like, oh, Nickelback, the worst band ever. You know where they play when they come to Nashville?
Bridgestone.
Nissan, dude. Nissan Stadium, dog.
Are you serious?
Yes, dude. So you go, like this idea that like, and people have been doing it since the dawn of time, but like this idea with the internet is like everybody's like, I'm projecting this, but I'm actually this. And if people knew I was this, they'd all, and as like the greatest, I make jokes about all the people doing that in all sources of life, and then the greatest example of that was me. That I was like, hey, I'm this, and I was actually kind of that, but also this. And then with people like, if you, there's like a health and fitness like influencer, and then you saw them in line at Burger King, you'd be like, wait, there's nothing wrong with eating a Burger King, but you said you were this. But that's what people love, to expose people and cancel people. And
but your message about that whole event is delete it.
Like delete that is like another attempts to look good on the internet. So we're all trying to project this level, and even some people are like, it's like vulnerable, but it's like fake vulnerable. It's like, okay, it's still advantageous to you to post this.
Yeah, like wow, yeah. It's like emotional.
It's like a trickeration. It's
almost like emotional pornography, almost.
Kind of. Yeah. And you're like, I just want to be, but you're like, but it's also very beneficial.
100%.
Yeah. And me too. But I'm a part of that too. Like for me, whenever I'm like honest about these parts of myself, it also is like oddly like financially a good choice, which is very strange. But the synopsis of the book is like, well, we all like everything was exposed, and then you find out you're loved for who you are if you eat a quinoa salad or a McDonald's, or like you are as like to be. I think that Timothy Keller quote was like, to be known and loved. Is it something like that? Quote number 3. To be truly known and loved for that is the peak. But some people want to be loved and not known, or known and not loved. So he's like, be loved. I was, prior to 2019, loved but not known. But it was better than nothing. So like this fake guy is going to come out here and you're going to love him. And that's at least better than nothing.
That's deep, dude.
Because I'll just do that. And a lot of people have been doing that their whole lives.
It's a deep book for a comedian.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I mean, it's mostly funny. I think. Yeah, it's funny that the idea is that like there's a private jet in LA that you can like rent for photo shoots.
Yeah.
Which that's just tough.
Oh
all right, what like
ridiculous?
What do you do? What is that? That's what the book is like. Like what for? So.
Well, I think part of I actually empathize a little bit, because it's like, all right,
I empathize 100.
If you grew up with nothing,
yep,
and it's like, hey, if I can convince people that I have money,
yep,
and by doing that I'll get real money and
yep,
leave the situation. Like, so I think it's always like,
yep. Great point.
I think people have reason. Like to your point about people coping with.
Yep, it's the best way they know how.
Like everyone's doing their best. I just think sometimes it's misled, or like that's why I like being in the position where people listen.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility, dude. Cause
Gigantic.
like
Gigantic.
you freaking.
There was somebody that they were like an Instagram influencer, and they got like too close to like a cliff and died
On the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I mean there's like a lot of stories about it actually in different countries, and a lot of people that were like, think about that. You're like, all right, if the better photo, in essence, the more likes, the more attention, the more money, the more I'm seen, the more love, the more everything. And they go like, and they go get so close, and they died, which is
crazy,
wild, dude. Think about it, if you actually do, that's like you break that down. Like, I mean, but I thought I had to post every day prior to 2019. I got to post every day on every platform, otherwise people will forget about me. That's the way I lived, and everything was just a machine of doing that. I could never stop touring, and I would just keep going and going. And then I was gone for 8 months, and you came back. I was like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh." But like, you don't take a month off because the algorithm will.
Yeah.
But what is that saying? That you're not seen and known and loved, and you're. But
I feel like it's a responsibility though. Well, one, yeah, like you don't want to get too close to the cliff and fall off. But also too, like, all right, for all these, like the entrepreneur content is big on the internet.
Huge.
It's like you wake up at 4 a.m. and you gotta grind. Wake up at 4, and it's like, all right, freaking chill out. It's like, but that's the type of people that take the picture on the jet because they're like, I'm out here grinding, and it's like, no, dude. That's why I like, we don't do it right, but I like, it has its downsides, but like our content that Sean and I make, it's like, hey, it's freaking we got kids, and our whole life is freaking kids. Yeah. And like, that's what we're doing. It's just like, it is.
We can't be out here. We can't do this.
I know.
I always say, I go like, I used to see that, like, you ever seen on like an intersection, it's like it's like, I'll teach you how to flip real estate and make, I go, well, why aren't you doing that? You do it. Bro, if you could make $1 million a year, flip, if I knew how to do that, I would not tell a soul. Yeah. Would you?
No.
No, dude, because that's your competition. Crazy. So clearly you can't do it. So you're out here telling, that doesn't make any sense. If you have like a business idea, you would like whisper it to me, maybe. But you're like, I'm not telling anybody.
Right.
What is all those guys, I saw this thing. It was like having trouble building up clients for your consultant business. Do this. I go, all right, so there's a business, there's a consultant, and then the consultant, I go, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we, this is so far away from.
The teacher that teaches the teachers of teachers, who ultimately, it's like, who's the freaking student?
I go, what, oh man. But everybody, you got less of, I think, less of it. I was still critical of things that I see in the culture, of course. I feel like that's how my voice is added, but less, if that really, whatever that guy is, they're trying to build that business, you're like, at the end of the day, you're like a little empathetic.
Yeah, because
he's just trying to, I get it.
And to your credit, I feel like the people who listen to you now, like, I feel really good. We just did that YouTube creator summit with the 100 top creators, and like some of them, you're like, wow, this is great. I'm glad that you're a person who's like moving culture in this direction.
I'm not whatever you are. I'm not that, but this is a voice that needs to be.
Yeah. But then there's also some where it's like, oh, you're just doing it for money.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm so glad that the people who listen to you and who like, you will change lives because you're like it just is. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like, you're leading people in I feel like in a more like, hey, let me be more thoughtful about this. Let me like have a sense of humor about this. And I think the perspective is
help, like to help.
Yeah.
And again, we're like sitting here, like we're here, we got it all figured out, but like obviously there's money involved, and there's a lot of
100%.
there's all that stuff, and like fame and popularity, and it like, but I go like, if someone could be 100% honest with themselves, if you go, hey, like I'm a pastor, I like to read the scriptures and explain them to people in a way that helps them. I go, yeah. But was there like 1% of you that's like maybe a little like ego, like
I like being up on stage and
and like everybody's like listening to me, and like you can be like, like, is there 1% of you? If someone can be honest with themselves, then we're just having a debate about what the percentage is. But if you go, I'm just here to change people's lives, and like you go, okay.
Right.
Okay. Right. You're like, nah, like there is like all the other stuff is like a part of it. But that's when you go, when you see somebody that goes, I'm just here to, I don't know about that. But
let me tell you. All right, bro. So whatever.
Remember when you asked me if I was still a Christian? That was unbelievable. That wasn't in the notes or anything. You're like, I'm gonna say, I got it.
We actually haven't had that conversation, but
I hold this one in the sheath, bro. I'm gonna bring it out. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm thankful for our friendship, dude, and I'm really proud. I've only known you for 3 years, not your whole life, so I'm not like a childhood friend or family member. But like, I do know that the John I knew 3 years ago and the John I know now, like I'm just pumped for you, dude. And
thank you,
and I know you're like from the get go. From the get go, I really admired the John that was like, on the worthy mission. And I feel like you are now.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. You're not going to, it's not the tried and true straight path all the time. But like, I'm just glad how you're doing the thing. So anyway.
Well, dude, first of all, I would have no prior to 2019 and being like chasing around women and getting drunk all the time, I would have no room for a friendship like this. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Remember when you stood me up at Melrose for like...
I wasn't there. Dude, I'd stand you up, dude. Okay. It got confusing. I said L.A. Jackson. You said ML Rose.
No. You freak out.
That was prior to 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
All right. I said meet me at L.A. Jackson.
No, you said ML Rose.
I was at L.A. Jackson. And I said ML Rose. I just got confused. I was probably drinking. I was drinking. But to your credit, and I think anyone that was... anyone that would be in my life that was wishing for the best. I remember this is probably, I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe less than that. We showed up to play basketball. Again, not something that I would be interested in prior to 2019. All a bunch of dudes playing basketball together. And I showed up there and you go, "What's up, dude?" I go, "Nothing." You go, "Are you still sexting women?"
I said that?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. And I go, okay. But like anybody that was interested in my health would be like, yeah, if someone should be asking him that, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, that might be a little bit of an aggressive way to do it, but like maybe I wouldn't say that. I
asked the Christian question.
But yeah, he goes, hey, like, and you go, well, if managed, if no one's checking in, that you'll go down. Everyone will. Every human left alone will go to bad things.
Yeah.
They will. And I go, well, and it was like a very honest conversation. And that was prior. That was probably a year and a half ago. But I go, oh, okay. Here we are, because you knew that was what I was struggling with. And then you go, hey, man, how's it? And you're like, you and Sean had always told me, like, we wish for you to be in a relationship, to have a family, and your goal has always been to help me find a girlfriend.
We've tried.
Yeah,
A
you
couple
have tried.
times we've
Yeah,
tried.
yeah.
You got a good one now. So.
Yeah, but you go, well, if you are anyone that cares about my health, my girlfriend, but even beyond that, my family, anyone that is employed by me, anyone that is my best friends would be like, yeah, that's the guy. Keep him. And I got some other friends that are not that. And you go, well, this is probably not. But if you're just out there, anyone left to their, especially like I would say a lot of the reason I didn't do bad things is because of I didn't have any money. Really, I'm trying to say, I wish I could say I was a better like Christian, but I didn't have any money and I was scared to get caught. That's why I didn't do bad things. But then you start having money and you go, all right, well, I might as well just like speed because I don't, who cares? No, really. You're like,
yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's just like it's odd like perspective change in life. But here's why I don't, we were in the same jeans, by the way, bro. Oh. Here's why I don't really, I don't want to look into this camera and say, here's what to do, or here's what, and I was like, my hand was forced. I got caught or exposed. And I see, we're like, hey, you should be honest with your wife, or you should tell your boss, or you should be like, I didn't have the courage to do that. Of course, I chose the right path to restoration, I guess, but restoration also included getting my career back and getting money versus I could continue going down the opposite road.
Yeah.
But I go this way, this side is so much better, but I didn't have the courage to do it. So I can't. Does that make sense?
And it took 10 years though. It was like this for 10 years?
Yeah.
That's freaking...
8. Yeah, 8, 9. And I go, man, just whatever addiction or whatever secret or whatever is holding somebody down in whether to say, I need some help. But I couldn't get out of it myself either. But they told me when I went to rehab, I go, man, this is a rock bottom. This is wild. I go, this is rock bottom. And they go, no, it's not. They go, you chose this to be rock bottom. Like, because I still had, obviously, a house, a car, money, family. He goes, you there's way deeper bottoms.
So
versus like being all the way homeless.
So it was good that you chose that to be rock bottom.
And yeah, but there's guys that like, there was a guy in rehab that got a DUI with his kid in a car seat.
Dang, bro.
And he goes, that's it. He's like, that's rock bottom. I go, no, it's not, dude. You chose that to be like, hey, or you eat McDonald's every day and then you have a heart attack. It's like, this rock bottom. It's like, no, you chose that to be the bottom, and then you can just build up from there. But there's thousands of people in my phone that would have let me come live with, like, until you're homeless and jobless and penniless on the street corner. Now, even that is still redeemable until you're dead. You commit suicide, you take your life because of addiction. That, like, I got a buddy now that said he got 5 DUIs and he's in prison. And you think, how could you not, right? Derek, this is public, it's not private information. Derek, my opener, has had 2 DUIs and he doesn't drink anymore. So
because he chose that to be his rock
yes,
bottom. So
he
goes,
saying, hey,
set your rock bottom at a pretty high place.
And whatever, yeah. And you go, but it's so like to have like a life behavior modification like that. Something where you're trying to get sober, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying something big. They told us in rehab, shame-based behavior change only in your brain lasts 48 hours.
Wow.
So you get drunk. I got this text 2 days ago from a buddy. Hey, dude, sorry about that. I was way too drunk last night. I don't like that. I'm not drinking for a month. Okay. That's a lie.
He's going to drink.
Yes, dude. It's disrespectful to your brain. It's so powerful, and it will only last 48 hours. So you look at something online that I'm never.
So what's the how do I not do it though?
Well, 40. So you got to. So like if you choose, and I don't know the answer to that, because some people go, that's my rock bottom, and it's
they're cold turkey, and they're actually done.
And it's sometimes very, very simple, but if you don't have it, it's kind of fruitless to fight against, because it's so powerful in your brain that you go. But if you do have it's easy. And if I knew the answer, obviously everybody would. But if you go, all right, got it. And you see people in rehab, same people in prison, dude. This is very similar. Where we did the fellowship of prison fellowship or whatever. We did a comedy show in a maximum security prison in Minneapolis, outside of Minnesota somewhere. And the guy goes, "There's two types of people in here." And he goes, there's the people that feel like they're wrongfully accused. I got set up. It was a sting operation. Mm-hmm. I trusted the wrong people. I was lied to. And there's also the people that go, I take ownership. I did it. And he goes, and he said, those type of people, this has got way too. You're like, I thought it was a comedy podcast, but I thought we had a comedian on. But he goes, the guys that go, hey, my daughter's 5 years old and I want to go to her high school graduation. Done. Or my wife is, I want to see my, done. Instantly. Yeah. Maybe it's outside of yourself. Maybe it's some other kind of, you go, and he goes, those guys they're different, and the other guys are they're a victim, they're waiting to get out, they're going to go right back to the same behavior. But if you can, I bet anyone listening to this, if they are on the other side, they're going to know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And when I was on the other side, not that I was a bad person back then or hopeless, but I got a buddy that I'm like a magnet for these people for some reason, because I've been publicly sober. It's like, John, you help him, right? So I got a family member, not an immediate family member, but is in rehab and was in and out of prison for years, and it's always, it's not my fault. It's because of this. This is the only thing. And I go,
you're missing the point.
You can't. I don't want to be too pessimistic, but you can't be helped. Now, if you go, then the possibilities are endless. If the guy with the 5 DUIs is in prison right now, if he goes, oh, I got it, he's 24. I go, dude, your life, if you could. I wish somebody, if they're just listening to this, they're like, what are they doing over there? But you got to watch it, I guess. Yeah. You like it's like a flipping of a what is that called? If you could, then that story to contribute to the world is unbelievable. The 5 DUIs and that, like, go help. Now you got a massive, like, I see it as it's so. Oh man, if we could get that the possibilities. But if you can't,
it's this big. It's like
that's it.
It's too little.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Anyway, we got something to sell you. Just kidding.
The book. No,
what if we had a program that we were like, John and Andy are like, what? This is whole thing.
Speaking of which, if you're looking to,
then we don't. Yeah. Speaking of which, subscribe to our email list or something like that.
Buy the book though, for real.
We're not here to sell books, but yeah, we.
John's whole thing.
Yeah.
Your comedy hits because it's so real, which is all good comedy is like, oh, that is identifying.
It's too real.
Like,
yeah.
and it's in the book. Go buy it. Delete that.
Yeah.
Amazon. Where do you want people to buy it?
Amazon, Walmart, Target. You just go to my website. And it's an audiobook too.
You read it?
Bro, have you done that?
You read it?
Yes.
I haven't done it.
Oh, man. All right, the book is 8 hours. In terms of if you buy it, it's going to be 8 hours to listen to. Guess how long I tracked?
16?
20.
Oof.
Because I can't. They go, now, dang it. After like 2 or 3 chapters, then you start to be like, and they just, and can you imagine that job? Just
having to listen to that whole thing? Oh, bro.
Sent word by word. I was like, that's a different type of person. But yeah, reading it's like if you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to hear me for 8 hours. Andrew's not included in it, though, by the way. But
yeah, you didn't freaking ask.
Yeah,
no endorsement or.
No, sorry, dude.
What the heck, dude?
It would be you and Larry the Cable Guy.
Thanks for the time, man. I've been looking forward to this conversation. We talked about this a while ago.
We talk about, this is what we talk about every time we're together.
Deep topics, but like us actually recording a conversation.
Like when we talked about about job and purpose, and then like our other buddy Ryan, he was like, "Yeah, I'm in the middle of it too," and we were like,
"Do you want to go meet up with Ryan right now?"
What's he doing?
I think we might go. Let's go.
Where's he going? To run or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go on a walk.
All right, me and Ryan are going on a walk, dude. A bro walk, dude.
I'm proud to know you, man.
You're the man, dude. I feel the same about you, brother.
Thanks for the time.
Absolutely.